Now that we're getting into fall time, we're going to talk about molting. If you've had chickens before, then you know the drill, you know what's coming. If you're new to chickens, like so many people that got their first chicks ever this year, then you might be a little bit confused as to why your birds look a little bit rough right now and why they're not laying as many eggs as they were during the summer. Birds go through a process called molting, similar to how other animals like dogs and cats shed their fur. Chickens will periodically lose their feathers and regrow new, fresh ones as well. However, they don't lose it all at once. They're going to lose their feathers gradually over the course of a couple months in small patches, so that way they're still protected, because if they were to lose their feathers all at once, that would not be a good mix for them at all, especially with it getting colder. Most chickens are going to molt in the fall time, and it takes a lot of protein and energy out of their body to molt and to regrow new feathers. So because of that, they're not going to lay as many eggs because their body is putting more energy into regrowing the feathers and staying warm instead of producing eggs. Another reason for them to stop laying eggs in the fall and winter is because of the daylight. As the days get shorter, the chickens are going to take a natural break from laying eggs. You can use artificial lighting to trick your hens into thinking it's springtime and to continue laying eggs, but that's not something that I personally do. I think that they are supposed to get that break because it's natural and is what their bodies intend. So I let them take that break, and I feel that it makes them live longer and produce more eggs and better quality eggs once springtime returns, because their bodies had a chance to get adequately rested. Today we're going to go over some molting care tips to help your hens get through the process a little bit easier and a little bit faster. So you can see Kiwi here is molting. She has some bald patches. She looks a little rough. Now, one thing you do want to check is that if your hens are losing feathers, you want to make sure that they don't have mites. Now, this is a natural time of year for them to start molting, so don't be too alarmed, but it doesn't hurt to double check. If you see a lot of itching or if you can see really small bugs moving on them, then there may be something else going on. But for this video, we're just going to stick to molting care. So as long as you rule out mites, then we can go ahead and get into it with molting. Feathers are made up of about 90% protein. So imagine how much that takes out of your bird trying to regrow multiple feathers. Because of this, it is recommended to add more protein to their diet during this time. Nutrena has a line of feed called NatureWise. You've probably heard me talk about it before if you've seen other videos on my channel. I'm a huge fan of NatureWise for many reasons, and we'll get into that in a second. But they have one in particular for molting season called Feather Fixer. It used to be an 18% protein, and they just recently upped it to a 20% protein, which I'm very happy about. I actually, for a while now, was hoping they would up the protein. So that's something they finally did, and I think it's a great change. In addition to the 20% protein, it's also going to be a 4% fat and a 6% fiber. This is designed to support laying hens, so this is safe to feed your hens even if they are still laying eggs. This feed has important trace minerals to support feather regrowth and eggshell strength. Like I just said, it can support laying hens if they're still laying eggs, so you don't need to worry about that. It is enriched with probiotics and prebiotics, as well as yeast culture to support their digestion and their gut health. And gut health can affect overall health and immunity, so it's always important to have a feed that's going to give them a healthy gut. And on the back of the bag, you'll see some more reasons why I really like just the entire NatureWise line. They add essential oils from oregano and other herbs, which is really good because herbs have a lot of different medicinal properties, so it's going to support the health of your flock in many different ways, as well as adding some shine and some health to the feathers that they're regrowing. And this is a feature that I really love. It has yucca root in it, which is a natural way to help lessen manure odor, which in return helps keep the flies at bay a little bit more. And I was skeptical at first when I heard about this before I tried it, but I can say that I have noticed a difference when using this feed. And like we just touched on, it does support gut health, which is great. The NatureWise line of feed also adds marigold to the feed to help enhance yolk color and make it a really nice, beautiful, vibrant orange egg yolk. And they also add additional vitamin D3 to support the calcium absorption to help create strong eggshells. In addition to feeding this as their layer feed during molting season, there's a few other things that you can do to support your flock as well. Feeding them sunflower seeds, specifically black oil, is also fantastic during molting season. Now be careful because sunflower seeds are rich in fat, so just like with all treats, you do want to keep it in moderation. But sunflower seeds also have a high protein content, and the oils in the seed are really good for supporting their skin and their feather health. And since they're using more energy to keep warm during the cold season and to regrow those feathers, a little extra fat and protein won't hurt them as long as you don't overdo it. You want to keep treats to about 10% of their diet. And then as for the layer feed and the drinking water, you want them to be able to access that anytime during the day. Some people do leave their feeders and waters in the coop at night, but chickens basically go blind at night and they sleep when it's dark. They don't really want to get off the roost because it's not safe. So they may not even bother to eat or drink when it's dark because they won't be able to see it. But if it makes you have peace of mind to put it in there, it won't hurt them. And then if you head over to the feed store with me, I will show you some other items that are beneficial to your flock during molting season. We're going to start with High Pro Scratch. This is a 12% protein. You can get this in a 7-pound bag or a 50-pound bag. And Scratch is not a complete diet. Some people think it is, but it's not. It's just a treat that you can supplement to their diet. And make sure when you're feeding your hens, especially when you're giving them treats or something that has hard shells on it, that you provide grit. Grit is basically small stones that your flock can swallow whole to help aid in digestion. Since they do not chew their food, they swallow it whole. The little stones will help them grind it up and digest it better. One thing that my flock really enjoys is this Fantastic Jumbo treat. This one is made in the USA, which I love. It's a 9% protein and it's made with all healthy ingredients such as different herbs, turmeric, mealworms. So that's another great occasional treat for this time of year. And then of course, mealworms, a very high protein treat. You can get just plain mealworms, you can get mealworms with crickets, or what my flock prefers is mealworms with shrimp. This one is a 37% protein, which is a great treat for molting season, or even really any time of the year. But especially right now, this is going to help support them when they're trying to regrow their feathers. Another option would be the grub larva, specifically black soldier fly larva. Black soldier fly larva is higher in calcium than the mealworms are, so that's really good for laying hens since they need additional calcium to support them when they're laying eggs. This particular blend of black soldier fly larva is a 33% protein. And then changing their feed and giving them supplemented snacks isn't the only thing you can do to help them. You can also get some other supplements if you feel that they need it. Most feed stores have something called Strike 3. This is a gut support product. It's made with oregano, garlic, and pumpkin seeds, among other things. It also has yeast in it. And this was made to support their gut health and boost their immunity. It's a 14% protein, and then if you look on the back, there's feeding instructions. It says to mix 1 pound of this pellet per 50-pound bag of feed. And you can also add vitamins to the water of your flock. You can give them this if they're ever just looking a little bit run down or you think you need a boost. Or you can even just add it to their water as a preventative if you know that they're about to go through a stressful period or if there's going to be an extreme weather change in your area. I have used NutriDrench before and I've always been very happy with it. When I had a sick hen, I saw really quick results when giving her this, so I always like to keep this on hand in case of an emergency. Poultry Cell is another popular vitamin supplement, so if you do not have NutriDrench in your area, check out Poultry Cell. And last but not least, there's also Save a Chick brand of probiotics. You probably saw me talking about these in the chick videos back in the spring. We like to give these to chicks when they come in just to give them an immunity boost. You mix 1 packet of this per gallon of water, and like we were talking about earlier, gut health can really help support overall health. So it wouldn't hurt to add this to their water during times of stress, such as molting or during season changes. And then you can also find the same brand of electrolytes with vitamins if you feel that they need that too. This could also be something if you have a hen that looks really particularly run down or sick, or if you're having extreme weather changes. If you provide this though, I also recommend putting out a dish of just plain regular water for your flock as well. And then another thing that could help support your flock during the cold seasons is corn. You can give your hens cracked corn or whole kernel corn. Now, the whole kernel corn, as you'll see on this printout, and you can pause the video if you want more time to read it, but it's more nutritionally sound than the cracked corn, which makes sense because it's a whole piece, everything's in there, it hasn't been broken up or dried. It contains more nutrients, and I give it to my small silkies. So yes, bantams can have this, but if you have really, really small birds or birds that may have crop issues, then I would stick with the cracked corn just to be safe because it is a little bit easier for them to digest those small pieces. Corn is very rich in carbohydrates, so it can provide them with extra energy when their bodies are working harder to stay warm and regrow their feathers. Another thing that you can do to support your flock's health during molting is giving them fresh fruits and vegetables. Just like it's good for you, the extra vitamins and minerals are good for your chickens. And peppers have 3 times more vitamin C than an orange, so it's great for their immune system. So that's it for today. I just wanted to keep it quick and simple so that you guys could find a fast and helpful solution to your molting questions. If you want more in-depth videos or more information on how to keep your flock prepared for the winter, I do have a few different videos on my channel about more molting information as well as winter care tips. So make sure you subscribe and check out those other videos on my channel if you want to learn more.